this. The only thing I'm gonna say is the volume. Like, where's the volume, boys? Before they spend money on your website, bro, they've already spent psychological money in their mind because they've seen the clothes on them and they want to buy it. Brands succeed not because they have good clothes. Like, don't get me wrong, your clothes are good, but like, bro, a person who's selling a basic t-shirt might outsell you and you'd be like, what the hell, like my clothes are better, you know? And you'll be confused. But the reason why he's selling so well is because he's selling identity, he's not selling the cloth. So man, how you guys feeling? Excited? The drop is about to happen in like 2 weeks or a week or so. How you guys feeling?
Yeah, we're excited but nervous a bit.
Nervous? What exactly has got you nervous? Is it about selling out? Is it maybe about the outreach, or what exactly is making you guys nervous?
Mainly just about like the outreach and like selling enough pieces, and like getting to people,
Yeah, cool, awesome. This is the part of the call where I shut up. You guys talk about just in depth of what your situation is right now when it comes to the pre-drop, what's on your mind, what's worrying you, what you think you should focus on, what you think you shouldn't focus on. You can just throw it at me and I'll just be writing, if that makes sense.
I feel like the main problems we have so far is basically just like content ideas, like trying to kind of like I guess like pop off in a way before drop, And our last 2 TikToks, I guess, haven't been doing that good because normally we would get like 1,000 views, just like something like beginner level, but our last TikTok has like 350.
Okay.
So it hasn't really been like on that same level. And we have like a bunch of people that say like they're gonna buy it, but we can't really like.
Yeah, the typical like, yeah, I can't wait to buy. Yeah, you can't really.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, we can't like. I guess like. We can't like stay just off that and be like say, oh yeah, people are gonna buy it just because they said.
Yeah.
We want to really like get to like people like we don't know. We want to kind of, I guess, do it like organically and like good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't reached an audience like big enough. Like all our followers that say they want to buy it, they're all like our friends and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's like obviously TikTok views, those come up on the For You page, but we barely have any likes from like non-followers, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like we don't have enough connection with like unknown people in it.
Okay, I see.
Connection with our target audience.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, boys?
I feel like the main thing we were like trying to talk about is basically content and like marketing and like trying to like get to them.
Yeah. And outreach, kind of. Okay, so let's say for example this call went perfect. What would you want to get from this call? Like if you had to walk away thinking that damn, that was a pretty good call, what would that look like in your mind?
Main content ideas.
Okay.
Like a spread of like a week or 2 of planning for content, or not even like content, just like of like, bang, this week we do this, and then in the future we can do that, and we can market it like that, and we can have content like that, and then it's like stuff like that, just like pretty much just like a plan in a way.
Like once again, I'm gonna be like fully transparent here, right? And I'm like, one thing as well about the call, I should have said this. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. I'm not gonna be around the bush.
Don't.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. I'm not gonna be around the bush. I'm gonna call the problem as I see it. I understand that you guys think you have a content and marketing problem, which is to some degree true. But the real problem that I've seen, and it's similar to the guys that talked to you yesterday, is your target audience. Right now, it doesn't look like. Don't get me wrong. You guys have a good hoodie, but who's it for, right? And this is the thing you guys need to consider. And every clothing brand founder makes this mistake when they're starting off. It's the reason why people give up, because they try to sell to everyone and they don't hone in and target that specific person, right? So let me ask you this, right? And let me note this down. Target audience is your real constraint. One thing I'd recommend, don't worry, with the step-by-step plan, like I have a whole PDF and presentation on how to like all that content ideation, I got you. But even after you leave this, Matthias and Philip, I would 100% recommend watching target audience. Right? It's a 44-minute video. Watch that shit. It's source on exactly who you need to buy. And I give you the exact framework on the person you need to focus on, right? But let me ask you this, right? Based off what you guys know right now, who exactly is your target audience?
Like a teenager.
Okay.
Male. Not even like a male, I guess it could be like any gender.
Okay.
Like a teenager from the ages of like, I guess you could say like 15 to like 20 something, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
That are into like clothing, but more than just that, they're like they look into it, they look into fashion, and they feel like kind of like a passion, I guess you could say, for clothing and like actually caring about what they put on their body, like, and they care about the quality
Mm-hmm.
and the material
Mm-hmm.
in their clothing,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, I guess you could say that they're into self-improvement, they're into like inner growth, discipline, and just like stuff like that, you know, growing as a person.
Yeah, I think it's mostly people that, again, as Matty said, people that care about quality. You know, our hoodies, we try to put as much quality, 100% cotton, you know, everything
Mm-hmm.
about the fit. People that put the fit and the quality, like, um, and they care about that more than the actual brand, you know. And we're trying to like build the brand based on that exactly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you're trying to maybe if you want to get like what style we're into, it's kind of like a grunge kind of. You get me? It's
Yeah.
Mysterious
dark.
kind of streetwear kind of.
Yeah. Something like that.
I'm not gonna lie, like I'm impressed because when you guys, you know, when you first start talking about the age range, I was thinking that okay, maybe you don't know about the target audience, but when you guys start to go into inner growth, self improvement, discipline, and you start to describe the type of person, it makes a lot of sense, right? There is 100%, like I'm gonna be real, like there is way more you can add to your target audience, right? And your
Yeah.
ideal client. And just to give you some reference, right? Because obviously, you know, I'm a consultant. So the reason why, for example, I'm able to make content that targets you specifically and get you guys on the consultation call is because I know exactly who you are, right? So, like, this is going to be very weird, but I have a whole document that covers everything about.
Summits, you know.
Pardon? Yeah, bro. Like I even have the like this is improving all the time. Like you know the one you saw on that video? This is good. This is improved from that, right? And the reason why is because I know you damn near to a T, right? I could start stating a bunch of things like, oh yeah, you guys are passionate. Not many people understand your passion. Even before you guys were talking about, you know, family and friends say they'll support, but they don't really support. A lot of the people you ask for help don't really help. Psychologically, you guys want to succeed, you guys want to make it. If, for example, the drop fails or clothing fails, people will think you're weird. And you build this brand because you want some recognition, you want to be disciplined, you want people to like I could go into the whole psychology. And one thing that's going to separate you guys from a lot of brands is knowing exactly who the flip you're going to sell to, right? So my ideal client or the person that I want to sell to, his name is Marcus, right? It's just a name I've given, but it describes every single type of brand founder that I'm trying to reach. Once again, this is a good starting point. I'll be real. You can definitely build off of this. And the highest leverage move you can make right now, don't get me wrong, you guys will start posting content and we'll talk about that. But I would spend one day sitting, thinking, and planning and just getting as much information as I can about the target audience, the specific people you want to buy. Because you need to think about it. Your target audience is your North Star, right? And we'll go over that right now, right? So what's really going on is you have an idea on who, and I'd say the idea is pretty strong. You have a pretty strong idea on who you want to sell to, but now the next question is how can we show / position content and our clothes that makes our target audience want to buy, right? Because if, for example, we're talking about a person who's self-improvement, well, what's a person who wants to improve themselves doing at like 6 p.m. on a Monday? They're probably watching motivation videos. They're probably watching videos that make them feel better. And if they somehow manage to stumble across your video where you're wearing your clothes and it represents the idea of self-improvement, they will be more willing to look into what you have and buy, right? Because it's human psychology. People are typically, we have a tendency of paying attention to things that we think benefit us, right? And if, for example, you didn't feel like this call will help you, you wouldn't even be on this call, right? It's the exact same thing with your target audience. These people need to know exactly the whole concept you guys are representing when it comes to self-improvement, inner growth, discipline, the quality. You guys do have the quality. Like I looked at the clothes, like don't get me wrong, like I see this, like this isn't cheap material. Like I'm 100% sure this is not cheap material. So the quality is there. No, bro, you're welcome. But it's the bare minimum, right? It's the bare minimum. Like the quality is there, but now what's important, so let me write that. Quality is there, but now we need to show transformation, right? And we need to show the transformation. When you guys start to make content, please, for the sake for this drop to go decent and good, make sure that every single piece of content you post is intentional, right? So content should be intentional, right? And what I mean by that is content should be structured. Once again, we'll go over how to do this. I won't leave you guys empty-handed. Structured in a way that convinces the TA, which is target audience, wants to look into your brand and wants to buy, right? Because most people are gonna post content, for example, with their hoodies on the floor, with their hoodies hang up on the door, or like maybe like, I don't know, just recording videos with models wearing it, which is fine. Obviously, people want to see what a clothes will look like on another person to then think about it on themselves. But what's really gonna push this drop and make it more successful is if in every single post you psychologically convince your viewer to subscribe to the identity you're selling, right? Because if we're thinking about quality, high quality clothes, these aren't going to be like, your target audience aren't going to be a bunch of tramps, right? They're not going to be a bunch of people, like that haven't taken a shower in days. No, these people are going to like wear this and feel like, damn, like this is pretty good material, right? They're going to have some money. They're going to be able to afford the clothes you want to sell.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if I was to ask you, why do you have a gym membership, right? What would you say?
Yeah, for me, it's just improvement, you know?
Exactly, right? 100%. It's to improve, right? So you go to the gym, you got the gym membership because you've subscribed to the idea of getting like a six pack, right? Let's just say that, for example. You didn't get the gym membership to touch iron and push it up on the bench. That isn't why you got the gym membership. Yeah. I have a gym membership too. The reason why I own a gym membership is because I am buying into the idea that if I go to the gym, push weights, I'll get stronger. It's the exact same principle for your target audience. Anytime that you guys are selling clothes, everyone's going to say, make cool clothes, make good quality clothes. Good. 100% cotton, amazing. But remember that people, before they spend money on your website, bro, they've already spent psychological money in their mind because they've seen the clothes on them and they want to buy it. People spend, let me just note that down as well. People spend psychologically before they spend financially, and them alone. And another thing as well I wanted to mention, Matthias, I think you said this, where you said you wanted to reach more people. One mistake that you guys want to avoid, okay, is, and a lot of brand founders typically tend to get a bit antsy about this, right? Let me ask you this. If I could give you two options, okay, you sell to 100,000 people, okay, by the way, there's no guarantee people will buy, but you sell to 100,000 people or 1,000 people, right? And out of this 100,000 people, you don't know, but a lot, like, that's your target audience. And with this 1,000 people, you have you have that design target audience. So this is specific people that you've chosen. Who would you be willing to place your bets on? The 1,000 or the 100,000?
You know, for me personally, definitely the 1,000, because I really want to build a community with this brand, and I want to build like people that I can like kind of like see as like, I guess, like family in a way, you know, just as like a community, and like people that I know that people will come back, you know, because with those 100,000 people, some of them might not come back. Yeah, 100%. In those 1,000, I can guarantee that mostly some of them definitely will. Yeah. You know? So I feel like that's more important to me. Yeah, Philip, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I feel like it's a win-win. It's 100,000. That's a lot of money for me, right? Yeah. And if people like the quality, they're gonna be coming back. Yeah, 100%. Out of the 100,000, right? It's more likely that at least 1,000 are gonna be coming back, right? Yeah. But with the 1,000, right, obviously, they like my brand. There's a targeted audience, and they like everything about me. Yeah. And even if they all come back, right? Yeah. At least last time I made more money, right? That's my perspective. I don't know that. Yeah. No, like, neither answer is right or wrong. But what I'm gonna say, the thing that would make you more money in the long run would be the 1,000, right? Because let's say, for example, let's do the calculations. How much the hoodie and how much are you guys selling that for at the moment? The hoodie is 80 euros. 80 euros, right? So 80 times 1,000, that'll give us 80k. Now, I want you to think about it this way, right? Imagine, for example, there's 1,000 people, right? Because you have to assume people like, that's just the hoodie, right? And you're selling the jacket. How much is the jacket? Okay, so that's already 140k, right? And let's just assume 1,000 people bought. The reason why 1,000 has so much more leverage is, like you said, you retain customers that will always buy. When you have someone who's made a purchase, right? You've broken that trust barrier. If someone has already invested in your product, they're going to do it again.
they're going to do it again, and they're going to do it again. And the blessing you have with 1,000 people is that those 1,000 people would literally reach out to more of those like people, right? Because all them 1,000 people are like-minded. You want to get like this population of just all the same people rather than a spreadsheet of 100,000 people. Don't get me wrong, like either is fine. And the beauty about about having the exposure of 100,000 people is you get more people to see the brand. Awareness, yes, but awareness isn't always conversion. It isn't always sales, right? Like for example, even when we run ads, the reason why we don't even like run traffic ads that much unless it's like close to a drop is because just because people know about the brand doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna buy. Sometimes people need to be incentivized, but you have a better shot at selling to the people who already know about the brand, right? Because they're more likely to buy than like a bunch of different people that's sporadic. So when it comes to this TA, and the reason why I'm making this point, just to go full circle, is that when it comes to the job, you guys want to focus on the target audience, not uncles, not aunties. It would be nice if we get them, but right now, what's the most important and what's the thing that's going to make the drop successful is focusing specifically on the target audience, right? Because if you can just focus on that demographic of people and you can continuously you just continue to like attack them with the same content that will psychologically make them buy, they will sign up to SMSs, they will be on the drop there and you'll be shocked, right? But it's not nothing crazy, it's just human psychology. And one thing that people tend to underestimate is the power of referrals. The amount of times I've seen my friend, right, in uni, he's wearing like these clothes and I'm like, what the hell is that cloth? He gatekeeps it. I take a picture of it. I buy it myself. Like the amount of times I've done that is insane, right? So, honing in on one specific type of person, then getting more like that. Awesome. Right, let's move. Any questions, boys, by the way?
I want to say something.
Of course, go ahead.
You know, one thing I realized?
Yep.
Like, in the city, because we both go to high school in the city, and we both realized that a bunch of people say that they like our clothes, but I feel like a bunch of them are, like, way different, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's, like, something, like, interesting to me, because, you know, they're not even like specifically like our target audience.
Yeah.
Like it might even be like someone that like we really like are close with like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like one of like mutual friends, but they still say that like they like our clothes and like they're still gonna buy.
Yeah.
It's like to me that was just like kind of like interesting in a way, you know?
No, 100%. I think like that's also a blessing in itself. Like, and to be fair, they probably will buy, bro. Like really and truly, they probably will. The only disadvantage about having people, or like when brands typically tend to focus on people outside of their target audience, is they make the mistake of throwing a net into a sea where they don't have any domain or experience in, right? Because these people, like their emotions fluctuate, right? And because you haven't defined them as your target audience, it's obviously advantage to get them and convert them into a sale, but they might change their mind next week because they're a target audience for a different brand, right? So so whilst you have people that would be willing to buy, amazing. Once again, the people that you have chosen, and that's very important. Not people that would like your brand, not people that think your brand is cool, but the people you choose by information, by market research, and knowing exactly who you want to sell to. Those people buy. It's all about the intentionality behind it, right? You made a very good point, bro. Yeah. For sure. Any other questions, boys?
No, I'm clear.
Awesome. Right.
Okay.
I feel like you guys are clear on the brand identity and the name. Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. It's pretty straightforward. Even when you guys explained, I was gonna ask about the identity, but when you guys talked about the self-improvement, then it kind of came into play. Target audience. I'm gonna say semi-identified right here. I'm gonna say it's semi-identified, not vague. You guys know who you want to sell to, but it's just getting that little bit more information about their likes, dislikes, that's gonna give you more leverage, right, when you come to content. And this is one thing I've said in multiple videos. Even when it comes to content, when you're doing these campaigns, you don't want to make content, because this was the old way. The old way was just show the clothes, show it how it looks when someone's wearing, a model will wear it, a video goes viral, and you make a bunch of money. The algorithm is different and people are different. People now have to see the value within the clothes, right? They need to subscribe to a community. So that's why you want to define your target audience, reverse engineer it, then make the content from your target audience, right? And when I give you this framework, bro, you'll be able to make like 50 videos, maybe even 100. And that's no exaggeration because you just know every single time what to post because it's just so clear. When it comes to your product manufacturing, where are we looking with that? Do you guys have stock on hand or are you guys ordering that? Where's that right now?
We're ordering it.
Awesome. So it's in progress. Amazing.
Yeah.
It was this one. Yeah. For some reason it wasn't showing. Okay, cool. Yeah. Like once again, boys, like I fuck with this, right? I fuck with this. The only thing I'm gonna say is the volume. Like, where's the volume, boys? You know, this shit is fire. Like, look at this, right? Where's the volume? This right here, this is what I saw right here. Shit like this should be on the Instagram story, right? What was that? What was that post that showed?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Yeah.
We put on, but that was kind of like I think like 2 weeks ago, or like a week and a half.
Yeah, we need that as a highlight, boys. We need that as a highlight. We need people to see. You need the story. You need the story visible, right? We need because when people see that shit, they're like, okay, cool. Like this makes sense. There is intention with the brand. Like, I fuck with the content. Thousands of views. Like, come on, guys. Like, we need more of this shit. I want to see more. This is fire, right? Okay, I'm gonna give a score on what I think right now you guys are when it comes to the progress. I'll be honest. Right now, it's a kind of a 5 out of 10, right? The website is good, the product is good, but there's just no content presence, and the target audience is semi-defined. With those two up, this can be a really successful drop. But it just goes to show that you only need to do a little bit, but that little bit is the highest leverage. First things first, define target audience. Define target audience even more. And
Detailed.
yeah. Use BCC, brand clarity checklist. So define target audience even more. Watch the target audience. In the videos, I say don't skip anything, but in your case, you guys already got the name and mission. I would say just watch the target audience and content and marketing. But yeah, watch the target audience section, define target audience even more. To use the brand clarity checklist. So there's a sheet I gave you guys. It's a very long sheet, I'll be real. But it's like 15 steps on everything. And the target audience section is here. It gives you a little bit more insight on the brand, right? You fill this in, you go through it even more as well. When it comes to the target audience, you can expand on this way more, but this is a good starting point. This is like a good launch pad. Yeah, Instagram is very important. Don't neglect it because you have higher value customers on Instagram than TikTok. TikTok is for discovery and volume. I talk about this in content and marketing, but Instagram, that's really where you get them sales. Because a lot of people will see your bio. There's a lot of professionalism. You guys can put up the reels. The way you guys can position the brand, it all just looks way better. TikTok, like when people go to your TikTok page, they just see a bunch of videos. They see a bunch they see a bunch of videos, but with Instagram, it's a lot more structured, if that makes sense. Now, and the blessing with Instagram is that you guys can show a bunch of product photos and reels. TikTok doesn't give you that privilege. It just shows you a bunch of videos and with like numbers. And if people sometimes people can be quite judgmental. If they see like, a video that does like a couple hundred or 1,000 views, they might not like tap in. But with Instagram, they can't tell. They can just see all of this and they're like, oh, wow, this brand is fire. They go straight to the reels. They see how it works, and just boom, right? And even on the drop day, when you guys are posting on your story, and by the way, like when it's drop day, close to the drop, you guys should be on the story every single day, but they will just click straight on the link. They won't even like waste time. On TikTok, they might be like, oh, wait, do I have to go to Instagram? Oh, I can't be asked. But on Instagram, they're like, yeah, let me click it. Yeah. So short term, the next 30 days after the drop, this is like, cause the drop is in 2 weeks. So that is what day is that? 27. That's fine. Yeah. So around 2 weeks. The more time you guys give yourself, the better because you get more people to see it. So that's fine. Short term, in the next 30 days, definitely. Within the next 30 days, let's push the shit. Get 323 Studios on TikTok to 1K followers. That's 100% doable. 100%. Even that page you guys saw, or the Yano Consults, that went to 2K in like 3-4 weeks. Super possible. One thing as well to consider on TikTok, that's why I go over content marketing. You want to make sure your accounts are warmed up properly because the algorithm can be a bitch sometimes. Yeah, in the next 30 days, I definitely see you guys getting 323 to 1,000 followers.
Yeah, I've got a question.
Of course, shoot. Talk to
Do you
me.
reckon we should post the same TikToks on Reels? Or like what Reels should we post on
Yeah,
Instagram?
100%. So one way you guys are going to get a lot of followers is a good method as well that people don't use enough. On Instagram, you guys can utilize trial reels. Is that possible in Romania? Trial reels.
I don't think I've heard of it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think we have it in Romania here on profile.
Bro, that's literally what you want, right? So essentially, you that's another thing you can test with. Trial reels are so flipping powerful because what it does, right, is when you post a video, typically you'll go to your followers, right? Followers first. But with the trial reel, you can post the same video oftentimes, or like the same two types of videos, change it up a little bit, and then spam it. And just keep posting the exact same video. So if a video, for example, you post and it does like on TikTok, it does like 100,000 views, let's just say, right? And then you post it on Instagram, and then you post it on trial reels, you can post it again and again and again and reach different types of people. If that makes sense. People that aren't your followers. So that's a framework you can experiment with. I'm gonna say experiments with trial reels, right? Do it. So quickly before we move on, these are, when you get this document, there's some resources. So the brand clarity checklist. So this is the sheet I was talking about, where you guys can fill this in together. Don't get me wrong, like it might take you an hour or two to sit down through this and fill this in, but it's super important because you'll know exactly what your business is like from A to Z on paper. And every single time you guys forget, or you guys kind of like almost kind of like lose the whole vision of the brand, you can just come here and get ideas from here. So this is like the core, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Another thing, boys, is you guys are two founders. Leverage personal brands, right? That's another thing that's going to give you, maybe not right now because of the drop, but after the drop, a personal brand from each of you. So that's an Instagram account from Matthias and Philip, both of you guys, showing people your lifestyle, your ideas, your mind works, your frameworks. One thing I said to there was 3 founders working on the brand. I said they have a freaking advantage. The exact same thing you guys do. You guys are in high school, right? Doing shit that no one else is doing. People would love to see how this shit turns out. People love supporting underdogs, right? So having a personal brand, and in the personal brand, you post content where you show people your lifestyle, your mindset, your ideas, why you created this shit. People will genuinely subscribe to that idea, and your engagement rates will go up because people like to see people that are doing just something that like no one else is doing, if that makes sense, right? It's not that impressive for a 20-year-old to make a brand than let's say like, for example, like a 16 or 17-year-old or like a 15-year-old. It's like, what the hell? Like, how are they even affording this? How are they able to market this brand? What the hell? Like, are they going to be successful? It kind of gives you a lot of adrenaline to find out where this is going to end up, right? The 2 resources, right, are the 7-day pre-drop and the post-drop. Now, what I'm going to say is, drop day, if this is your first time ever and you do this right, you'll get a few sales. But the majority of your sales will come after the drop. So don't plan only for the drop, plan for after as well, right?
Yeah.
So there's a 7-day pre-drop content plan. We'll go over a quick content plan together, but with this one, you guys can follow this as well. It's a quick plan every single day on what to post, every single day, what you shouldn't and shouldn't do, and what type of content you guys should look towards posting. Now, with the post drop as well, this is the exact same thing as well. Build up momentum. And one thing I am going to say as well, planning for after the drop, you guys can get these resources in the document, I'll send it. One thing as well, planning after the drop, you want to make sure that content is like, don't stop posting after the drop, okay? Because you might not sell everything on the drop. So continue to post so you can still re-get them people that probably didn't have money but want to buy. Because if it's on the 27th, right, some people get paid on like the 29th or the 30th. Right, so they might not have the money and then forget. But if you keep posting and on the 29th they remember, the 30th they will pay. That makes sense. So yeah. Any questions?
No.
Cool. Let's go over the content thing real quick. So you guys mentioned what to post every single day. Let's look at TikTok real quick. TikTok and Instagram. So with TikTok, once again, TikTok is volume. So one thing I do want to make clear, and the reason why I put it first is before you start posting, define TA first. Define TA first. The reason being is you can now make content based off your TA. So TikTok is volume, Instagram is quality, right? Instagram is quality, and the content you want to post on either of them will be the same but different, right? So on TikTok, obviously you guys want to be posting 2 to 3 times. No, 2. If you can do 3 times, amazing, but 2 times a day. 2 times a day. With Instagram, that's gonna look like probably like 3 times a day. But the reason why is because you'll be doing different posts. It won't be reels. It won't be posting reels. It'll be one story, and one like reel, if that makes sense, and maybe like one trial reel, if that makes sense. So, one story, one reel, one trial reel. Now, for what to post, there are a few things. I'm gonna go over the content and marketing. I went over 8 different content types that you guys can do. So, the first content type is product showcase content. So you guys should have more pictures on the content. So this Instagram lifestyle content, not yet. I won't focus on that. Process content. So process content. Do you guys have any pictures of when you guys were making samples or stuff like that?
We unfortunately don't.
Oh damn it. Okay, cool. Do you
Oh, we have like
the sketches,
photos of like us designing in like a way.
amazing. The process content should go on your story, right? And I would leverage on right now when it comes to this. I'd make a story, but make a highlight and name it like process, and get a bunch of images that show you guys designing. The reason why, for example, if you like, this is my page, right? This is my page. So I have 2 different highlights, obviously for clients to look at, and if they want to look at like what I do and how I work, I have work and business, right? So if they go into the work thing, right, they'll see a bunch of different pictures, stories. For example, this is me like packing orders, and from different times, like this is weeks ago. They'll see a bunch of different pictures, stories, all this stuff of me like taking pictures of the process, this and that work. This is effective because when people look at the brand and when people like the brand, they might just look throughout the whole thing. So, and once again, even when you do a personal brand, I would once again structure it like this. But if you have, what you guys can remove the highlight later, but right now, because you guys are building this up, I would definitely get a highlight that shows process and just you guys, or pictures of you guys designing, as you said, maybe sitting down thinking. Even that picture, this one right here, amazing. Put that in the process. Amazing. Yeah. So these are I've given you guys 5 content types that you guys can do, right? You just rotate between them all the time. Once again, content isn't only about TikTok and Instagram. It's about engagement and reminding people to consistently tap in, right? If that's a story, if that's a, like, for example, like, look, on my story, okay, so I've got this story, my story's out, but I already have, like, let's look at the archive. Like, yesterday, posting a bunch of, like, this was everything up until this point, all yesterday, right? And this is all engagement with the audience. I have another 6 stories in the drafts that I'm going to post tomorrow. And the whole point is, when stories are a good way on Instagram to get people to remember you, right? You don't want anyone to forget you, whether that's on Instagram or TikTok. Just don't let, like, you guys have 2 weeks. Don't let anyone forget you any single day, right? Just so, and this is if you want to sell as much as possible. Now, just to wrap this up, boys, and I'll take any questions at the end. I got you guys. Non-negotiables. I would say make highlights. This is just like, to kind of make your life easier, make highlights for your Instagram. So this would be first highlight should be shipping. So you should make a highlight called shipping, and then on the shipping you should have show ship rates or no ship. Yeah, I always want to ingrain that. Like, anytime you guys, the reason why your brand will blow is because I'm letting you guys know the framework. Brands succeed not because they have good clothes. Like, don't get me wrong, your clothes are good. But, like, bro, a person who's selling a basic t-shirt might outsell you, and you'd be like, what the hell? Like, my clothes are better, you know? And you'll be confused. But the reason why he's selling so well is because he's selling identity, he's not selling, the cloth. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything, boys. I'll take one more question, and if not, bro, I'm gonna send you guys this shit, and then you guys can get to ripping, genuinely.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to ask. How much do you think like the product actually matters?
I think the product is like, I think the product, funny enough, I think the product is around 45%. 55% is the psychology behind it. Yeah. Like, I'd say like a 40-60. And that's surprising. Most people think the product is everything. Don't get me wrong. The product is nice. But now we live in an age where everyone is making good products. So products don't matter as much anymore. Right? If you guys started this shit in like 2020, bro, like, people would love the product. They wouldn't even care about the identity. They just see a hoodie. But now everyone is making a good hoodie. Everyone's making a good jacket. Everyone's making a good windbreaker that if you pour water on it, it's heat reactive. It's not impressive anymore. Okay, cool. So it'll be 2 PDFs. The content plan and the consulting diagnosis. You can download them. I've sent it over. Let me know if you get it. Let me know if you got it. If you didn't, it's probably in your spam folder. Awesome. All right, boys. Good luck with the drop. I hope it goes really well. For sure. Yeah, I'm texting now. I'm gonna let you guys go. You're welcome, boys. You're welcome, boys. Good luck with the drop.
Thank you, bro. God bless.
For sure. God bless as well. See you guys. The main reason why clothing brand founders give up is because of a lack of clarity. Not because they are terrible, not because their product sucks, but because they just don't have clarity. And if you don't have clarity, if there is no clearance on the actions you're taking every single day, you will give up. The people that succeed aren't better than you. They just know what they need to do and do it. And that's why they win. And if you don't know what you need to do, you're going to fail, right? You could spend hours, and I mean hours, working on your craft every single day. But if you're not doing the thing that moves the needle, if you're not making the highest leverage move, you are going to indefinitely fail. And that's not because, you're not making the right decisions, but you're doing them in the wrong order. You need to do the right things in the right order in order to get the right results. And that is why I work as a consultant for brands, because I show them the things they need to focus on and they focus on that, right? We got so many more consultations this week. I think 8 more. I'm ready to rip, man. Ready to help these niggas. Just because clarity, that is what people pay for.